Click to doom yourself. Great. Is it getting blurry? Okay. This game is better played in a dark room. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual... Okay. FBI headquarters in 71. RPG Maker? Maybe it is. I don't know. Do we want to be Catherine Armstrong? Or Stuart Ross? A recent arrival to the force and one of the few women in the Bureau. Despite the praises from the agent at Quantico, so far she has had a mediocre field performance. She seems to be better suited for paperwork than for agent's work. Her superiors say she's confrontational and hard to deal with. Oh my god, typical women. She holds a degree in forensic medicine from the University of Mass. And Stewart is one of the oldest currently active agents of the Bureau. Oldest? 34 gets you to be the oldest agent? Holy... Why does she hold a degree? He declined a special instructor position at the academy, choosing to be on the field, solving cases. His superiors describe him as a resourceful and brave agent and has received multiple commendations. Ross is a veteran of the Korean War, where he earned a Distinguished Service Cross. Of course. Woman is difficult. Normally, I like to go with female characters, but there's something about Stewart that just like... I'm kind of worried what there will be if we choose Kathy. But Stewart also seems pretty badass. I want to play as the badass character, so I'm gonna go with Stewart. Ross's scientific skills are below average. But he has many contacts and great experience, which might prove useful in the investigation. Okay, hold on. So you get like this. Catherine has excellent detective and forensic skills, but the rampant sexism of the 60s will make it harder for her to be taken seriously. Never mind, I've changed my mind. I want all the sexism. I want all the sexism, give me. Okay. That morning, your boss at the FBI, Arthur McConnelly, asks you to go to his office. Yeah, it was the 71 year, but like then it said in the 60s, so I don't know. I don't know, maybe we go back in time. Oh, hell yeah! Ah, you're finally here, Catherine. Mr. Ross and I have been waiting for you for a while. They hadn't solved sexism by then. Some people have not solved sexism by now. So Mr. Ross was the other agent, right? I love this face. Look at that face. Just where the hell is the coffee that I ordered? Do we get to be sassy on each and every... I'm not a waitress. Ha, you're damn right you aren't. You're a federal agent. And if you want to keep the job, you better follow my requests as if they're coming from the president himself. Now just shut up and listen. You may learn something from Agent Ross. I hope you appreciate the chance I'm giving you to learn from one of the best feds around, Catherine. Did they actually draw a face on him? Yes! Maybe you're putting too much faith on me. I might be rusty. Nonsense. We need more men like you if we want to beat those damned commies. The whole deal with the Ruskies started to go to hell when we caught them red-handed, building nuclear silos in Cuba. Where the hell do they get off? That's right in our backyard. And instead of fighting them, we had to negotiate to make them back down. Ridiculous. There was no other way to avoid war. Our politicians were too weak. Do we go full on crazy? Or do I just choose what I would normally choose? Let's explain it to the man. There was no other way to avoid war. I wouldn't expect that. You get it, being a woman. But Ross knows what I'm talking about. I can't take this seriously. A man must never show weakness to a bully. Now the Soviets know that they can threaten us to get whatever they want. Of course, I'm not happy that the guy died. It was a tragedy, but in a way, he had it coming. Fortunately, I'm not the only one on the Bureau that thinks we've been underestimating the Red Menace. That's why you're here. Take a look at these pictures. The pictures aren't very nice. The pictures aren't very nice. The bodies are bloody and lack any trace of skin. Whatever happened here, it was a real massacre. The bodies are not missing any chunks of flesh such as from bites or claw marks. That discards an animal attack. Sir, your husband is beautiful. Oh my god. It's some kind of building with a big antenna array. Perhaps a radio station. Is the predator? The skin has been removed carefully enough to leave the flesh and eyes intact. This must have taken hours, so the intention was not just killing. This was way more sadistic. I think I've seen enough. Lovely, isn't it? These people were murdered. Well, that's not the whole truth. Where were they found? The pictures are from an astronomical observatory in Gardner, a small town in the state of Washington. This morning, the sheriff found this desecration. 12 bodies slaughtered, and one of the researchers is still missing. We don't know who did this or why. What were they researching? Photos were of a radio station. Who's the missing scientist? So what do they want us to do? The photos were of a radio station. Yes, from what I've heard, they don't use telescopes. They seem to analyze radio signals from space. Or something like that. Nothing worth dying for. Not like this, at least. What were they researching? Nothing with any military purpose, for all we know. The observatory was doing routine deep space data gathering for the Washington State University. Let me tell you, nothing good can come out of an obsession with outer space. Still, those folks didn't deserve to die like that. Who's the missing scientist? We don't know much other than his name, Nicholas Forrester, a young PhD physics graduate, no criminal record. He and the rest were hired by the WSU a few months ago. What is the BZU? So what do you want us to do? It's simple. I want you to go and make sure that there's nothing on this case that involves the Ruskies. Normally we wouldn't send federal agents, but the town is a few miles away from the Fairchild Air Force Base, which has a lot of things that the commies would like to take a look at. This doesn't look like their job. Or maybe that's exactly what they want us to think. Whatever the case, we need to be sure. Just drive there and let Agent Ross do his job. You might even learn something. Oh, hell yeah. You and your partner walked to the FBI's parking lot and took the black Cadillac that had been assigned to you. Nice. Cadillac. You drove the car for several days, only stopping to sleep at motels whilst on the road. Why not take turns sleeping in the car? That would make it much faster. I don't know. Is the man driving? Is that the thing? The man can drive? Every mile you drove away from the headquarters of the Bureau lifted an oppressive feeling off of your chest. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Crazy idea. Here, the sky is always cloudy, so it's almost impossible to see the stars. Why would those idiots build an observatory here? Do I woman-splain or do... Of course I will. Radio signals aren't blocked by clouds. Oh, right. McConnelly mentioned that. I should have known you'd remember. According to your file, you were top of your class in the academy. I'm surprised that someone as smart as you would end up being McConnelly's secretary. I am an agent, not a secretary. Yeah, right. Wrong choice of words, I guess. Let me ask you something, agent to agent. This whole thing about the missiles in Cuba, what do you really think? Should we have been more aggressive? I don't know. All I know is that we avoided war, so it sounds pretty good, but yeah. I think we did just right. See, that's why the bosses consider me a top field agent and you're just a rookie with an attitude problem. Oh, nuclear war even. Why would anybody want a nuclear war? I wouldn't have answered that, I don't think. Overall, the state of Washington wasn't very welcoming, almost as if it was trying to warn you to stay away. The road's monotonous and repetitive, and you noticed only a few other cars along the way. The air was very cold and the weather felt like it was going to rain soon. Okay. Hey, I'm going to turn on the radio. What kind of music do you like? I used to play the piano in college. Let's not talk about ourselves. Do they play Liszt somewhere? What the fuck is that? Do we got some metal? Depends what Liszt is. I'm just gonna say anything is fine and see what he chooses. Hungarian composer? Classical? Yeah, no, that's a bad... That's... yeah. No, we can't ask him to play classical. Nice. I'll see if I can get some Elvis. Don't play Elvis. I will get banned. That noise is disgusting. can turn it off. I don't think this is Elvis. I wouldn't call it disgusting. It's just perhaps not what I expected. Is this the song Out of Space? That's when you realized you were just about arriving at your destination. You're more like John Carpenter. A town called Gardner in Washington State. A bunch of nosy villagers watched closely as your car entered the small town. The town was not very big, but the streets were crowded. Everyone seemed peaceful and calm. All of them oblivious to the brutal crimes that had just occurred a few kilometers away. Looking at this place, it's hard to imagine that people were brutally killed nearby. It's unlikely that such a sadistic killer would live in a small, peaceful town like this one, don't you think? Actual research shows the opposite. Well, I guess that living in a place where nothing interesting ever happens can make you snap. Yeah? This is normal. Yeah. As soon as you stepped out of the car, a young man ran towards you. Black suits driving... hold on. Black suits driving a black Cadillac? Are you FBI, CIA, or maybe another more shady organization? Are you with the press? Well, I like to consider myself more of an independent investigator than a journalist. Let me say, my self-published magazine, the Fortean Report, has a small but very engaged community of readers. And they will want to know why you're here. It's because of the murders at the station, isn't it? And what do you know about that? The sheriff has not let the press on the site yet. Is it true that one of the astronomers is still missing? Do you have any clue of his whereabouts? Dude doesn't look 70s. That's true. Is that a hoodie? I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't really strike like the 70s. Let's be professional. Let's not screw this up. I can't confirm or deny anything. But the readers deserve to know the truth. Well, boo-hoo. What readers, Daniel? I don't know why I'm making these weird accents. That weirdo friend of yours was the only one who ever read your stupid flying saucer fanzine. What does he look like this? Oh, look what he ended up doing. You don't know for sure that Nicholas was the killer? What I know is that I can get you arrested for obstruction of justice. Now scram! Yeah, that's better. I'm sorry that creep bothered you folks. I'm glad you came, Sheriff. Sheriff, no, I'm just a lackey. The sheriff is my boss. I'm Albert Crane, the deputy. Nice to meet you. I take it you're the feds we've been waiting for, right? They told us you were coming a couple of hours ago. Oh my god, that is their creepiest smile ever. But I didn't expect to see a woman. Ask the deputy for a coffee. Wouldn't have we got these same comments, like, if I was playing the male detective there would have still been a woman with. So I don't know what it changes. Maybe it changes a bit. At least she probably can't defend herself unless we play as her. And I didn't expect to see a monkey. Hey, watch your mouth, missus. I'm Agent Stuart Ross, and this is my partner, Agent Armstrong. To be honest, I'm not really sure why they sent you. The sheriff and I have already identified the killer. It may take some time, but he will be found and brought to justice. I guess you've made that long trip in vain. I guess we're gonna ask everything. You know who did it? Yeah, well, it's not like we have any proof yet, but it's obvious that the killer is the missing scientist. He went mad, murdered everyone, and then ran away. What do you know about him? His name is Nicholas Forrester. He also goes by Nico. He came to work here about a year ago. I didn't know him personally, but I've heard he was a bit of an oddball. Obsessed with UFOs. That son of a bitch. Only he could have done it. There's people doing fireworks outside. It's not New Year's Eve yet, dude. What can you tell us about the town? Same. Like they're doing it on my lawn. For a week already. I think I started hearing last night. Yeah, last night, like, I saw one of them, and then I didn't see her for like 3 or 4 hours after that. Nala's not that bothered, luckily. But oh, you know, just a typical place. We're pretty close to a military base, so all this is restricted airspace. There's no planes flying over us. That's why the astronomy station was placed here. Other than that, it's just a town full of good people. Who was that reporter that spoke to us? Danny Brown. A reporter? Huh, what a joke. Reporter is a word way too big for that clown, for what that clown does. He likes to say that he runs a magazine, but really all he writes is a bunch of nonsense about UFOs that nobody reads. It's nuts, I know. He was friends with the killer, but I don't think he's involved at all with the murders. So friends with the lead scientist. I read that. I've known Daniel since high school. He doesn't have the balls to hurt anybody, and much less to do something as inhuman as this. He's just the laughing stock of this town. How has the town reacted to all of this? Well, this is a small town, so news spreads quickly. But I think most people don't realize how horrible the whole show was. The saddest part is that one of the dead scientists was just married to the mayor's daughter, Carrie. Poor girl. But I guess it means she's game. I guess it means she's game. Where's the sheriff, please? He's waiting for you at the crime scene. He didn't want to leave just in case the culprit came back. Criminals always come back to the scene of the crime. Did you know that? I can bring you to him if you want. There was one more question, right? Oh. Yes, please bring us to the sheriff. It's a couple miles from here. Get in my car and I'll drive you there. We could have just taken our car, but whatever, I guess. Hey, George, the feds are here. The sheriff seemed nervous. He quickly tossed his cigarette and walked towards you. Oh my god, what does he sound like? I'm George Barry, the sheriff of Gardner. And you are? Agent Ross, and she's my partner, Agent Armstrong. I'd say that I'm pleased to meet you, but the circumstances are quite grim. You'll find the crime scene inside the station, with the bodies and everything. What is this place? A research station of some kind, I don't know. There hadn't been any problems with it until now. But I'm sure that in the future this town will be more wary about accepting foreigners. Maybe it's better if you see it with your own eyes. Afterwards, I'll answer any more questions you have. Just let me warn you, it isn't a nice sight. So, maybe the lady wants to wait outside? Enter first? Let Ross take the lead? Or say, I'm gonna say, what, you don't enter? Hell no, I've seen enough. I expect what's inside looks better than your face. The place was an old army radar station, which had later been repurposed to gather radio signals from space. The military design was still evident, though. It was high in the mountains, so the air was cold, perhaps too cold for this time of year. Jeez. As soon as you opened the door, you regretted it instantly. A flow of foul, rotten air invaded the whole place. You covered your mouth with one hand, trying desperately to control the sudden urge to vomit. And then you stepped inside. So I went first. Yes. The interior was as welcoming as promised. It was hard to just breathe among the smell of half-rotten corpses. I'm not quite sure what I guess these are the skinless people. As you step in, your shoe touches something on the ground. A mutilated arm. Just one of the dozens of human remains scattered all over the place. So not only do they have their skin off, they are cut to pieces. Alright. This is insane. Whoever did this must have spent hours cutting and dismembering. Skinless wings for dinner. Oh god. There doesn't seem to be any pattern or method. Whoever did this just killed at random. Over a table full of computer controls, there was the main event, the whole circus of horror. A small and bloody human torso. The skin had been removed, the legs butchered, the eyes had been pulled out and were lying close to the head. The body had been covered by a pile of human ears. You counted them. 24. 24 ears on the body? What the? Oh god. The small frame implies that it's a woman. I think she was butchered with some kind of heavy item, possibly with that axe over there. I hope she was already dead when all this happened. There was an axe on the table, and it was bloody. There were small chunks of flesh all over the edge of its head. And on the handle, too. All these dismemberments suggest that it must have been done with a heavy-edged weapon. Have you seen this axe? What do you think? Is that what the murderer used to kill all these people? Yes, it's too soon, or I don't think so. I think it's too soon to reach any conclusion. Like, I don't really know how you... Not that I've tried or anything, but like, how do you remove skin with an axe? I would believe the dismemberment, but skin removal? I want to ask him where our coffee is. I was thinking, do you think that maybe someone staged all this? You know, to make us dismiss the investigation as just the work of an insane killer? Do you have eyes? This is insane. Or what? Like the Russians? Who knows, perhaps? I'm gonna ask about the Russians because he and our boss seemed very obsessed about that. Yeah, well, maybe. This seems weird. I'm gonna say we can't discard any theory yet. There was a group of mutilated corpses lying on the ground. Arms and legs had been chopped off with blatant disregard. Some bodies had been decapitated too. The sheriff showed his face through the door. We haven't found all the heads yet. Ross walked towards the remains and flipped one of the heads over with his foot. This one has no ears. And that one neither. Huh, I think all of them. All their ears have been ripped off. About that, maybe you should check the body on the table. I did! So perhaps there were 12 people here and all of their ears were placed on one body? I'm thinking maybe they heard something from the space. Maybe they wanted to rip their ears off. Maybe it was so bad. You look pale. Haven't you seen corpses before? Yes, but nothing like this. You'll get used to it. That's all you gotta say? Okay, fine. I guess you understand the situation better now. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer. When were they seen alive for the first time? I mean, the last time. That's the strangest part. I visited them that afternoon. Everything seemed normal. Who could have imagined that they would be like this on the morning? When did you find them? In the morning around 9 a.m. You see, I'm friends with Carrie's family. She was married to William Kowalski, one of the scientists working here. She told me that her husband hasn't come home last night, so I wanted to check if he was actually working. She thought he was having an affair. Know anything about the missing scientist? His name is Nicholas Forrester, but everybody calls him Nico. An unremarkable guy, fresh out of college. Not the sanest fellow, that one. Always talking about UFOs and government conspiracies. But we never thought he'd come to this. He hasn't been seen since we found the bodies. We think he ran away to the woods. The sick bastard. I hope beasts find him and make him pay for what he has done. It will still be merciful compared to what I would do to that fucker if I got my hands on him. Why aren't you searching for him? Have you seen the size of the woods here? We're surrounded by miles and miles of trees. And we're only 2 people. We don't have the manpower to handle a search of such magnitude. If it was a missing kid or something, we could ask the collaboration from the townsfolk. But to catch a murderer... That's when Ross came out of the station. He was holding something in his hands. I found these. You think they might be useful? Cassette tapes. The labels on them are dated, so these must be some kind of audio log for the station. Oh, do we get to hear it? Let me check the one from the night of the murder. We don't see woods around here. Our line of sight is limited to 640 by 480. Yeah, no woods. So you've noticed it too, right? The recording from the night the murders happened is missing. Yeah, well, whatever. That detail doesn't change the bigger picture, does it? Most likely the murderer took it with him to cover his tracks. Yeah, then why didn't he hide the bodies? Folks, it's getting pretty late, so I'm going to lock the gate until the doctor arrives tomorrow and disposes of the bodies. The last thing we want is animals having a feast with the deceased. Feast with the deceased, nice. And I'm sure you're pretty tired, so Albert can drive you back to your hotel if that's okay. Sure, we'd love to take a shower. You headed to the deputy's car who drove you back to your hotel in town. Ears ripped off. Tape missing. After checking in at the hotel, you went straight to your room. Hey, it's me, Ross. Can you talk? Sure, and I will unlock the door. Thanks. Sorry to bother you this late, but I have to call McConnelly soon, and I'd like to make sure I haven't missed anything. Especially regarding your opinion about the possible links between these murders and Russian ops. It's a strong possibility. We don't know enough to be sure. It's unlikely they were involved. I mean, we don't know enough. I don't really want to say yes or no. I'm pretty sure it's a no. You know, just regular plot development tells me that, but we don't know. Yeah, right. So, there was one of the scientists who had a funny last name. You know, the one who was married to a girl from town. What was it? Kowalski. That's it. William Kowalski. Sounds Eastern European, doesn't it? Maybe Polish or even Russian. What do you mean that's stupid? What do you mean? Well, I don't know, but there has to be something. What do you think McConnelly will do when we tell him that a small nerdy scientist dismembered all his coworkers with an axe because he suddenly went mad? You know what he'll do? He'll call us back immediately, then demote me and fire you, and send more people. Why would we get fired? I mean, he wouldn't get fired, obviously. So what do you propose? We shouldn't send him false reports. Then we need to solve the case quickly. Yes, exactly. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll call him and tell him that this might have been the Russians, and I'll drop that Polish name or whatever, so he thinks that we're into something, onto something. And we keep doing that until we find the killer, the missing tape, or whatever is necessary to not look like clowns when we report it was just a false alarm. How does that sound, huh? Sounds reasonable. Well, now that's cleared up, I'll go back to my room and call the boss. There is a potential killer on the loose and we're playing politics instead of going after him. Is that an option? Can we change jobs? Can we get him fired? We can call the boss and tell that I think it's the Russians, but he thinks it's aliens. It hasn't been an easy day. Perhaps I should get some rest. You barely got any sleep. Strange nightmares kept on haunting you whenever you closed your eyes. Whoa! When the sun finally rose, you had a quick breakfast and headed down to the reception area. We were supposed to meet here. I guess it was too much to expect him to be on time. I've read that the hotel was originally built to accommodate... What? Like, it literally goes off screen. I don't know. I don't know what it was built to accommodate. Those that came here, maybe? To build the Air Force base. It's quite nice. Yes, how may I help you, dear? Have you seen my partner? As far as I know, Mr. Ross is still in his room. Should I call him to tell him to meet you here? Yes, please. I'll do it right away. She seems quite busy. I can't leave until Ross shows up. Finally! You don't look so good this morning, Kathy. Did you have trouble sleeping? I slept like a log. I probably should, but actually no. Like, professionally, no. But survival-wise, maybe. Did you speak with our boss? Yeah, I did. Just after we spoke. And I did my best to keep his hopes up on this being a Russian job. He was happy about that, but I'm sure that his patience will run out soon. So, like, we just arrived. How can he be so impatient? So we should focus on solving the case as fast as possible so we can leave this whole damn thing behind. I think the best option is that we separate. That way we'll be able to cover more ground. I think it would be better if we went together. Come on, Kathy. I'm flattered, but we both know that you hate having me watching over your shoulder at your every move. Plus, I'll be meeting with a contact today, and it's better if I do it alone. He's an old pal from the army. These days he works for the big brass at the Pentagon. So he should be able to tell me if there was a connection between the research station and the Fairchild Air Force Base. You should go interrogate one of the persons of interest too. See if you discover something. He needs some alone time with a buddy. Do you have anyone in mind? The scientist's widow probably is a good place to start. The widow? Ah, she was married to the scientist that had the Russian's last name, wasn't she? What was her name again? Carrie Kowalski. Sounds like a good place to start. Is there anyone else you want to talk with? We could talk to the weird reporter. Because they were friends. Yep, the deputy said he was friends with the missing scientist, Nicholas Forrester. I'd be surprised if he didn't know something about Nicholas that could explain what happened at the station. Any more suspects? All good. Just keep in mind that these things tend to take longer than expected. Choose wisely how to spend your time. Good advice. Glad to help. Let's meet here tonight and discuss what we've learned. Bye. Okay. Carrie Kowalski. We already talked to Daniel for a brief moment, and that wasn't very fruitful, so... Maybe she noticed something unusual about her husband's behavior. The locals said that Carrie Kowalski's widow had moved in with her parents after the news of her husband's death. But hold on. I'm a bit confused here. He was the lead scientist. He's missing. Not confirmed dead from what I understood. Not confirmed dead, just missing, right? Why is she instantly a widow? Like, what? The house was a bit far from the hotel, but once you reached the neighborhood, it wasn't hard to find. The widow is the mayor's daughter, and it seems that being a politician really pays off. Come in, the door is unlocked. You're that federal agent, Catherine, right? The sheriff told me you would be coming to talk to me sooner or later. And you're Carrie, Mr. Kowalski's widow? Widow? I will never get used to that word. I still have the feeling that I will wake up and it will all have been just a nightmare. Just ask your questions. I thought I could say my condolences afterwards. Oop. I just wasn't sure, she's with her parents. Maybe this was the mom. It's kind of hard to tell. No, wait, Nicholas Forrester. Right, no, okay, sorry. Nicholas was the main scientist who is missing. And this Kowalski is one of the... Okay. About the night of the crime. Trust me, I'll remember that damn night for the rest of my life. Did you notice anything strange? Now that I think back, some things did seem out of place. Like the fact that Nicholas visited us the previous day and said that they would have a big breakthrough on their investigation soon. Or that my husband didn't call to tell me that he was going to keep on working the entire night. But no, it was just another normal day. Or so I thought. I didn't know there was anything wrong until the sheriff called me in the morning. The sheriff told me you asked him to visit them. I did. Oh my God, I'm so ashamed. How could I have doubted him? The truth is that I thought he was having an affair, so I asked the sheriff to check if he was really working at the station. Why did you think he was unfaithful? Because I was a bad wife, that's why. It's just that lately he was barely coming home, and he was ecstatic. He said it was because they'd had a breakthrough in their research, but I didn't believe him. My dear William, I'm so sorry. About your husband's work. I don't know too much about it. It's very complicated stuff, and I'm just a town girl. But I'll try to help you. What was the research about? You probably know more about it than I do. I never quite grasped what he was researching exactly. All I know is that it was a constant source of frustration for him since the army ordered the research station to be shut down. Yep. I mean, I get it if that's the way you speak to a man that time, you know. You know that they don't really have a high value for you, so you sort of play the part. But I don't really understand why you would say it like that when talking to, you know, another woman. Because women have always known that they are normal people. Anyway. But after he and the rest of the scientists protested, they got the WSU to reopen the station again. Did he say why they were closed? No. William said they might have pissed off someone from the army because the shutdown order came from them. I think that's the reason why he had so many arguments with that bastard Nicholas. They disagreed on how to proceed. All that now seems such trivial concerns. About your husband's friends. William was very charming, a real gentleman. He had lots of friends in town. Can I ask all of these? That would be nice. Did he have an active social life? Yes, he used to hang around often at the bar to watch sports with the rest of the townsfolk. He loved baseball. That's how we met. Oh, I guess we can ask. Was he friends with the other scientists? Not too much. They were just work colleagues. He had met most of them when they were all recruited to work here. The only one he socialized with outside of work was Nicholas, the son of a bitch that ended up killing all of them. Okay, there will be ads soon and I will pause when they start. What about Nicholas Forrester? You mean the killer? They say it. Then say it, the killer. When it comes to me, he doesn't have a name. He's not a human anymore. He's an animal. Yeah, about the killer. I'll tell you anything that can help you bring him to justice. What is he like? At first, he didn't look like the kind of person that possessed such an evil, rotten soul inside. He was always talking about how the military was sabotaging his research and everything, so most of us thought he was just a fool, like Danny Brown. We know nothing about the missing person, though. Hopefully we'll find out right now, though. But in the end, he showed his true face. I have nothing else to say about that monster, okay? Can I trick her like this? I can. Okay, but we'll do that in a second. I will be right back. Okay. I love that we can sort of cheat and squeeze the information, even though she was just like, I'm not gonna talk about him anymore. Thank you. But if we know where to click, where could he be hiding? I wish I knew. There were miles of forest around these parts. Even people that know the area get lost from time to time. Wherever he is, I hope he's cold, desperate, and hungry. Okay, we can... Why do you think he did it? He and my husband had several arguments before that night. They couldn't agree on how to proceed with the investigation. Then, the day after the murders, Nicholas came here and convinced my husband... What? Do you mean the day before the murders, I guess? Convinced my husband that there was a solution to the problem, that they would have a big breakthrough. I bet he had the whole thing planned all along. That was maybe something we could... What did I click? What did I click? Okay. Oops. The house seems even bigger from the inside. Guess we'll just go. Click the button that makes her cry, which is like every other button. So the WSU tried to shut down the research station, huh? I should get back to Ross and let him know about this. Did my time run out? I didn't pause the game for the break. I just wondered, they did say something like, be careful what you use your time on. Also, what about this game being 20 minutes long by how long to beat? I call bullshit. The sun was going down when you made it back to the town center. About time. I've been looking for you for a while. I think this is a good spot to put our findings together, don't you? How did your investigation go? To be honest, I wasn't very lucky. I tried calling my contact at the Air Force, but I couldn't get past his secretary. So I was hoping that you'd discovered something useful. Ross listened to your explanation attentively. You couldn't tell if he was surprised at any point, but he seemed quite interested. His secretary is probably a fighter pilot. I was thinking the same, that secretary, sure, could be anyone. Shit, it seems that McConnelly was right in thinking that there's some more to this case than what it seemed at the beginning. Oh no, should I have talked to the reporter instead? It's getting kind of late. Let's head back to the hotel. We can compare our notes while we walk there. What the fuck kind of notes do you have? Like nothing. The sun was going down and the air felt colder. Soon it would be dark. First thing in the morning, we should discuss which persons of interest to interview. Or can I spend another day interviewing? This town sucks. I hate it here. All his notes. Yeah, what do you want? He discovered nothing. What are your theories on the case? Not sure what to think anymore. Sure, every closed case always has some question left unanswered, but here there are too many things that don't add up. Look, I'm tired of walking from here to there all day long. Let's just head back to the hotel and discuss what to do next. Where has he been walking? What? As soon as you entered the hotel, the clerk approached you. She seemed quite distressed. Excuse me, agents? The sheriff called and said that you should go to his office immediately. Did he say what it was about? Well, he said that, that apparently somebody killed the deputy. Yes! I mean, oh no. Thanks for letting us know. They'll tell the sheriff we're heading over there immediately. What the hell is going on? I wish I could answer that for you. Okay, let's get to the sheriff and find out what the fuck has happened. Gardner was surrounded by miles of forest. Okay, now we see some pixels. Green pixels. You wondered if Nicholas Forrester was looking at you from somewhere over there. Everyone in town was already locked inside their home. The only sound of the wind could be heard. If you hadn't seen this place in daytime, you would swear it was a ghost town. It's locked. Agents? Oh, thank good God you've arrived. This door can't be opened from the outside without a special key. Let me unlock it for you. Holy shit, right there. He's been murdered right there. The lifeless body of Deputy Crane lied in a chair, covered in blood. How do we know it's not the sheriff? If it can't be opened from the outside. Coffee was too hot. Uh-oh. This is madness. I spoke with him just a few hours ago, and now he's gone. You need to call for reinforcements, agents. We need a federal team to track down that maniac. First, tell us what happened. I don't know if it ever works to tell someone to calm down, so... Isn't it obvious? That lunatic Nicholas Forrester shot Deputy Crane and then ran away. Did you see him? No. I wasn't here when he killed Crane. I was on my way home when I suddenly heard a gunshot. He was having an affair with his own deputy. Of course, I rushed back here immediately, but when I arrived, Forrester had already left. I looked around the area nearby, and there was no trace of him or where he could have gone. Do you mind if we check the scene? Sure, as long as you call for reinforcements once you're done. The more time this psycho is on the loose, the more likely it is that he finds more victims. Can I talk to you for a minute? I have a theory. Maybe he found the missing tape, listened to it, and went crazy and killed himself. That's my theory. Forrester appears from nowhere, kills this guy, and then disappears into the night. There's something else going on here. I'm going to call the bureau so they can send someone from the forensic division. We need more information. Like, sure, okay, but didn't it take us days to drive here? Can't they fly in the 70s? I want to check the area. I don't want to ask him what I should do. Okay, let's do that. I'll call them, you check the area. Nah, you're the expert, remember? It's better if you take a look and see if there's anything that explains what the hell happened here. Okay, well, all I wanted was to check the scene, so I'm happy. The lifeless body of Deputy Crane sat in the chair. He had been shot on the side of the head. Yeah, he could have done this. The bullet went in and out in a clean manner. He must have been shot with a handgun or similar low-caliber weapon. And there's burning marks around the entry wound. He was shot at point-blank range. More evidence. It was himself. You noticed that there was something unusual on the desk, next to the typewriter. A portable cassette player and a headset. It looks like he was listening to something before he died. Like... I'm sorry that I spoiled it for you, but I just knew it. It's the tape that was missing. The one with the station logs. The night the murders happened. No way! But what is it doing here? Did you find something relevant? Maybe more Elvis. Maybe. I mean, maybe those were songs from space. I don't know. Maybe we just got the better version and that didn't make us want to kill ourselves. Why would I lie to him? Crane had the tape that was missing. What? Why would he have it? No idea. He hid it from us? Do you expect me to believe you didn't know? Let's accuse him. Do you expect me to believe you didn't know? I don't know what you're talking about. Forrester must have dropped it when he was here. Sure. Seems guilty. This window is locked. In fact, all of them are. Is there something wrong? This is a valid question. Can these be locked from the outside? But I kind of already know the answer. But this is like, I think this is the professional thing to ask. I don't see how, but I have a theory. Maybe Forrester entered through a window, shot Deputy Crane, and then locked all the windows and left through the front door. Why would he lock the windows? Who knows? Perhaps he got nervous after the murder and wasn't thinking straight. Or maybe he did it to confuse us so that we didn't know how he got in and out. What a great answer. There was a trail of blood going down Crane's arm onto the ground, and in the middle of the bloody puddle, a revolver. You see, I was gonna ask, like, there should be a gun here, right? Unless we actually think it was that Nicholas dude. Looks like it fell out of his hand. That's Crane's weapon, I'm sure of it. I guess he aimed at Nicholas, but the bastard shot him before Crane could fire back. You put on a pair of gloves and examined the gun. The cannon smells like gunpowder and it's warm to the touch. This weapon has been fired recently. And it's missing a bullet. Did you find something? I think he already said that he heard a gunshot. So, it was Deputy Crane who fired. Crane? Are you suggesting that he shot himself? That's ridiculous. I knew him like a son, goddammit. He was the most cheerful person in this damn town. I didn't make him sound like that, but okay. So you can forget about that shit right now. He wouldn't have killed himself, ever. I better leave this where it belongs. I just spoke with McConnelly. They've dispatched a special team for the manhunt. Unless a unit of specialist forensic police will come with them. They'll be here tomorrow morning. How? Okay. So, what did I miss? Your partner found an extra details, but nothing that changes the overall picture. Shut the fuck up. Forrester broke in somehow, probably through the window. He tried to ambush Crane, who didn't notice his presence because he was listening to loud music. was listening to the tape from the murder scene. What the? He took Crane's weapon and perhaps as a sick game, made him listen to the recording of the night of the station murder. Oh, okay. Still calling it a fair. After that, he shot him and left in a hurry before I could come back. Is that so, Sheriff? What about you, Catherine? What do you think? Yeah, the window was the only way in. Actually, I think it was the door. No one broke in here. I know where you're heading here, so let me take it off the table right away. Crane did not shoot himself. You spoke to the guy, goddammit. Did he sound like the sort of guy that would blow his own head off? I've got to admit that the sheriff has a point here. Why would he do something like this? Maybe because of this. Is that the missing tape? The deputy had it? Crane must have taken it from the station, but why would he hide it from us? Yeah, I don't know if the sheriff knew about the tape. But the deputy must have taken it from the crime scene, and then when the sheriff left home already for the day, then he started listening to it. Maybe he was involved in the murders. Perhaps he was protecting Forrester, defame Forrester. I bet the sheriff knew about it. It's hard to say if the sheriff knew about it or not. Why would he hide it from us? Maybe he was involved in the murders. The sheriff is definitely sus. But I don't know if we should blame him right now. So I'm gonna say maybe he was involved in the murders. That would explain why he was so adamant about blaming Forrester all the time. Maybe this tape reveals who the real killer was. I'm a bit scared to listen to the tape, honestly. No, that's not what happened at all. If there's something you haven't told us, you better start talking now, or you'll wish it was you in that chair with your brains hanging out. Yeah. All right. Yes, it was Crane who took the tape from the research station. But it's not what you think. You see, it happened when you visited the research station. Can you believe those fucking city snobs think they can come here and tell us how to do our job? And the chick? If she wasn't a Fed, I wouldn't let any woman talk back to me like that. Her husband should smack that attitude right out of her. There's nothing that the Feds enjoy more than bossing around folks like us, kid. It makes them feel important. At least they'll catch Forrester, and then we can forget about this whole shit show. I wouldn't count on that. Not without this tape, at least. Yeah, let's have the sheriff listen to the tape. Very good idea. Are you fucking insane? Do you know what could happen to you if they found out you took this? They won't find out. While they waste their time looking for clues, I'll listen to it. If it says nothing about Forrester's whereabouts, I'll tell the Feds that we found it after we checked this place a second time. But if it mentions where Forrester could be hiding, we go first and catch him. We'll take the credit and teach those douchebags a lesson. Well, when you put it like that, I guess there's nothing wrong with us checking the tape first. And I've always thought we deserved a bit more respect from the folks in town. I swear to God, that's what happened. We already caught you lying. I bet you'd say anything to save your sorry ass. I'm telling you the truth. We just wanted to check out the tape before you. He's probably telling the truth. But if I say that, then what? Okay, fine, I believe you. My partner may think you're telling the truth, but it doesn't mean I am. I was hoping for that. What did you do to Forrester? Did he run away? And that's why you're trying to frame him? Listen to the tape. You'll see I've got nothing to do with what happened. It would be stupid not to listen to it and get some answers. Don't you think so, Kathy? I think it's, I don't know, like, we need to have a plan. Your partner took the tape and looked at it closely. Have you decided what to do with it? I can listen to it if you want to. Don't worry, I'll do it. Yes, please tell me what's on it. I don't think any of us should. I mean, either of us should, right? Like, he's not as bad as he seemed in the beginning. So, I'm starting to give him some slack. I don't want him to, like, die. What? Why the hell not? It proves my innocence. You can't just ignore it. It's the only thing that can tell us what really happened that night at the research station. Well, if they do, I can say it told you so. Trust me, don't listen to the tape. I just can't understand why. It would solve all our questions. Why can't I say anything other than don't do it? Why can't I say like, I suspect the sound at the station of the murder night has something to do with why everyone who heard it are dead? That would maybe make them understand a bit better. That would be too reasonable. I'm just gonna keep saying don't do it, and if they do, then whatever. Well, I've been at this long enough to know that sometimes you just need to trust your gut. I guess there's no problem if we wait until reinforcements arrive before listening to it. I can't believe this shit. You accuse me and then refuse to check the clue that would prove you wrong? What was that? That noise came from that corridor over there. There's someone else here. I'll keep an eye on the sheriff. Go check who's making those noises and be careful. Ah! It's some kind of storage room. There are noises coming from inside. Do I have a gun? It's locked. I don't have the time for this. Oh, I do have a gun. Holy shit. No! Someone is running away. Freeze! He's gone. Shit. Did you shoot? What's going on? Someone ran away. Then go and catch him. I'll be right behind you in a minute. What do you mean in a minute? Do you need to pee first? Hey, don't cuff me. What if Forrester comes back? Oh, okay. I see now. The killer must have been searching for something in this storage room. He went into the woods. If I run, I may catch him. Okay. If this is Nicholas, I'm just gonna facepalm and quit. You pursue the figure as it runs away to the woods. Your legs start to hurt and you're panting, but you don't stop. Eventually, the figure stops at a lonely cabin. Nowhere else for you to run. You look back at the seemingly endless forest behind you, but there were no signs of your partner. He will never find here, I guess. I hope Ross manages to find his way through the woods. The cabin stood alone in a small forest clearing. The lights were out and there wasn't any sound coming from the inside, but you knew there was someone inside. That figure went in there. Perhaps I can make that person come out? Federal agent, get out now. No response. It seems that Ross isn't coming. I should head inside before whoever that is has a chance to escape. I better play this safe. I'm ready. The dim light from an old lamp is the only thing keeping the interior of the cabin from total darkness. Slowly, your eyes get used to the low light, and then you see someone hiding behind the furniture. I surrender! Don't shoot! Wait. This is the face that I saw in my nightmare. You were in the sheriff's office. Why? I was looking for something. Something important. I need to get back there. We need to destroy it. Looking for the tape. This is Nicholas, isn't it? He's there to save us from the sound. Looking for what? For the tape of that damned night. The place where that song was recorded. Some fool has played it. I can feel it. It has to be destroyed before more people get killed. I know who you are. How do you know about it? I guess there's no point in hiding it anymore. You might have guessed by now, but I am Nicholas Forrester. Tell me what happened at the station. What happened? Fucking hell on earth, that's what happened. All because of that damned music. The song that they were researching at the Fairchild base. You must have seen the corpses. Haven't you figured out who did that to them? It was them! They did it to themselves. And they kept laughing while they killed each other. Laughing as they were hitting and biting and tearing each other's flesh. I was laughing too. Even poor Ellie was laughing when Kowalski grabbed an axe and cut her head off. And the entire time, that voice kept on whispering to us, telling us all that it was a hilarious joke. How did you survive? I don't know. Last I remember is that someone hit me on the head, then everything turned black. When I woke up, I was in the forest, naked and half dead. I barely managed to crawl to this place. But I wish I died that night too, because I won't ever be able to forget that song. Even now I can feel it scratching at the edge of my mind, waiting for me to give up so it can take over. And even worse, it got into the audio log of that damned night. You must let me go so I can erase the recording before it has the chance to kill more people. We can't let you destroy it quite yet. But we promise we don't listen. Pinky promise. Don't worry, I'll destroy the tape. Good, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. Suddenly, Forrester... Something. He pushed you to the ground. What? Stop right there. Shoot me, you fucking pig. Shoot me. Shit, you should have surrendered when I gave you the chance. Don't worry, Agent. This had to be done. The music was in my head too. When you got back on your feet, Forrester was lying motionless in a pool of blood. He was dead. I didn't shoot him, by the way. I could have, but I chose not to. 'Cause he seemed harmless. A second later, and it would be you on the floor instead of him. He wasn't going to shoot me. I guess we'll never know. Anyway, that was Forrester, wasn't it? You'd better stay here. I'll go back to the sheriff's office and get someone to help us shift the body. Bruh? This is now very sus. What? I'll go instead. You almost got shot. I think it's better if you take a minute to calm down. I won't take long. As your partner left, you felt something strange in one of your pockets. What the? I must have taken it from the sheriff's office without noticing. I wonder what I should do with it. If I break it, no one will ever understand. If I don't break it, more people are just going to die and it's useless. So I'm just gonna break it. You snapped the tape in two and ripped its contents. And when you did, you felt somehow relieved. Of course, you didn't know at that point, but that decision was a mistake! The end? What? Why was it a mistake? This game has multiple endings and secrets, Drew. I mean, I understand how it could have been a mistake from like the investigation point of view. Like the rational sort of by the book. It was wrong. But I also think that I saved a bunch of people. So, like, I don't feel that bad.